Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Parapalooza Fall
I guess
2021.
Well, we can leave that overlay on for now.
For now, we can. That'll work.
We don't have the other one. I didn't realize, was that an overlay? The first one I sent you? It has Parapalooza across the top?
The first one that cut everybody's heads off.
No, I mean, the one that's always been behind us.
Oh.
I mean, that I see behind us.
I
didn't change that.
We have two going on, I think, because we have.
I guess so.
We have the green screen, which has that. And then this is the last one you sent yesterday.
Oh, okay. There was one for Parapalooza that had the zombies.
Oh. Yeah. You want me to put that one back up? Is that the one you wanted? Probably.
Yeah, well, I did that one for our segment at the beginning, and I thought we'd go back to.
All right, here we go.
I see how it works.
Switch that one up. There we go.
Sweet.
Yes. So we got a good segment for you guys here. We're going to be talking horror shows. And let's go ahead and we're waiting on Emma, but we'll bring on Craig. Mr. Craig Layton.
Hello.
Should be popping up any minute.
What is happening?
I see you.
That's a good thing. And you can hear us good?
I can hear you. No one can see me.
Perfect.
I see me and you.
Yeah. She says she's backstage, but
your graphics and openings are a hell of a lot better, man. You guys are really coming prime time. It was insane because it's been a bit since it's been probably been a while since I've been on the show. But man, your opening graphic, that was fantastic.
Thank you, man. We
appreciate that. Really stepped it up.
Did that sound get to you?
The screech.
Oh, to my soul.
Yeah, because I sent both you guys the same link. So
okay,
she says she's backstage.
Yeah,
I don't see her.
Emma, follow my voice.
Right?
Who can find us?
Let me see, because I know I sent it out. I think she was on the same email you were, right, Craig? Did you see that last night when I sent it?
Actually, you know what? I think it only came to me.
Maybe I sent them separately, but I copy and pasted the same.
No, she's a part of it. She's a part of it.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know that she's on though, because she's.
Here, maybe can I grab her? I can send that link to her.
Yeah, resend it just to see.
I mean, to make sure she's on the same feed, because she says she's backstage, but she's not showing up in our green room at the moment.
I know.
Or she's grabbing an old link from one of our old shows.
Oh, possibly, huh? That's a possibility.
It would say it was expired, wouldn't it? If it was...
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
I don't think it does. I think it still tries to put you in. I don't think it does.
Yeah, I'll tell her you're sending her. Craig is sending you.
So, Craig, you got to be getting excited, man. New movie coming out this year?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It almost doesn't seem real, though, because of like the delay and everything. Right?
Yeah,
It's like,
I know.
It just seemed like it took forever, right? But it's kind of crawling. It's exciting, and people are like, they're showing too much in the trailer. That's wrong. But you know what? They got to get you hyped about it, right? So it's kind of looks like, just from the trailer I'm seeing, it looks like it's going to follow the kind of philosophy that I thought it was going to be, where it's just, we knew we had to get out of the burning house. So people are criticizing that we're seeing him come out and kill firemen, right? But he has to get out of the house. That's probably the first 2 minutes of the film, right? Like, it's the opening. What are you talking about, right? So then it looks like the whole town's coming at him. So it's going to be one of these. I think Michael's just going to tear through a town.
Yeah.
Like, so I think the kill count, this is going to be off the. I think it's going to break the record. I think the previous record from my research, not counting Jason X, killed, I think, 27 people. Jason, on camera, he killed. But people are like, he killed more because he blew up a space station and there was thousands of people. Right. That don't count. But the last I checked, like, Jason X had the record for, I think, 27. I think Halloween Kills is going to destroy that.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a new mask with this one?
There is. There is a new mask. It's I can go grab it.
You have it.
Well,
you have.
Of course he does.
I have a version of it. Of course I do. And yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. Well, I'm sorry, it's a live show, but I gotta go grab it.
Oh, there's Emma.
There's Emma.
All right. Let me bring her in.
You just talk to
lovely-
Emma for a second while I go grab the
Okay.
mask.
We'll see how Emma's doing.
Oh, there's Emma Beautiful.
There
Get
she
it all
is.
She's got to
together.
duck down
The
there.
gang's all back together. I'll be right back.
All right.
Girl, he's
Okay.
leaving the moment I enter. Okay, that's fine.
Right?
We'll see how
Yeah,
this
I'm not. I'm
works.
not going to
No.
take that as any kind of hint or anything. Can you hear? Can you hear me just fine?
Yeah, we can hear you good.
Oh, good. How are you guys? How is your what is your Parapalooza? Are you guys doing extra spooky stuff? Finding
So
ghosts?
it's basically, you know what a Paracon is?
Is it a convention for paranormal stuff?
It is. That's
Then
exactly
I
what it
do.
is. So yeah. So this is just kind of the virtual version of that. So we do a virtual Paracon is what it is. So we have people from all over, who deal in the paranormal, come on and share stories with us, or we basically give them an hour and they can talk about whatever they want in that hour. They can teach people, about the paranormal if they want. They could share evidence. We get some people that even do live investigations. So it's just
That's
kind of
so
a cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's a cool way for the paranormal community to come together and share ideas. So
Can I ask you a paranormal question?
sure.
Well, the question's a human question, but it's about the paranormal. So,
Okay.
with all these deep fake things happening, like, because with paranormal evidence, people usually be like, "Well, there's video," but now that things are so easily faked, I mean, what's going to be like the antithesis of proof? Just when it's witnessed by a mass of people, like the thing in Arizona, the spaceships in Arizona.
Well, we talk about it all the time,
Mhm.
and I think to really corroborate evidence, you have to have multiple pieces working together. Okay, you can't just say you're going to catch something on film and that's it. Some people may take that as gospel, some people don't. But if you have multiple, let's say, devices or pieces of equipment that'll back up what you found, to me that's where credible evidence comes in. Like you said, anything could be doctored. Film could be
Oh, yeah.
doctored. The word orb has been thrown out there so much that every little speck of dust somebody sees is an orb. You know what I mean? So I think there's still going to be those people out there. There's still going to be the people out there that try to pass something off as evidence. But I think as you become an investigator and you start getting into the field a little bit more, you start to know what to look for. You start to go, okay, well, the camera picked it up, but then the spirit box also picked it up or something like that. You have multiple pieces of evidence based on one finding.
I think it's also going to come down to the reputation of the people that are presenting it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As well,
absolutely.
right? Anything that's not presented by Zach Baggins, we can take as real. I had to get on him already on your show.
Well, again, we have people on our own team that will staunchly defend Zach and what he does. And
Yeah.
I think what they may have done in the beginning, was probably true evidence, but now they're limited. They're limited because they have to make a TV show. And,
Are they the
us-
Ghost Adventure guys?
yeah. Now, us who do paranormal investigating on a regular basis will go to a place for 2 nights and not get shit for those 2 nights. So they've got to wrap up everything in a 45-minute show. So I can see where a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, everything they get
This
is
is,
faked," or
And I said this before when I was talking to you guys. Like, this is the problem with paranormal researching meeting entertainment,
right.
because at the end of the day, if it's on TV, it has to be entertaining. They have to keep an audience. They got to keep bringing their viewership. And you're right. Like, no one's going to put up a half-hour, 1-hour episode of absolutely nothing happening. Right. I think a lot of time, if I'm going to be a defender of it for a moment, I'm sure a lot of these things, like, they're finding stuff that just isn't playing well on TV, so maybe they're recreating it or amping it up a bit. It may have been something like a voice. Like, I always find the voices interesting because a lot of the voices can be open to interpretation. Like, a lot of static. Like, when I watch these shows, I'll hear something and it's completely different than what they're saying they hear. I'm like,
Right.
what it is. But at the end of the day, it's going to circle back to the reputation of the people that are finding it. But to Emma's point with deep faking, and like, the second digital media was, well, people were faking stuff on film forever, right? but
Hi, Wendy.
if you can fake it, you can. It's for entertainment. Like that. That's the thing. When is it legitimate research opposed to entertainment? Right. But that conversation can go through anything. It's like homes, watching him build homes, right? Like, building a house isn't very exciting. but they do things to make it look more entertaining for viewership. So,
Yeah.
so that's the thing.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah. And the two things that they
Oh, the
share. Oh,
mask.
that's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's
Yeah.
the 2018 version? Is that what it is?
It
Is
is.
it?
And there's a story behind this one. Yes, this is actually probably more. This is more screen accurate than what the licensed people are selling. I actually had this was custom made for me by Grim FX. They're on my Twitter. Fantastic guy. Custom made this, and what he did is he took frames from the trailer, from the very first trailer that was released a long time ago, and
Halloween Kills, the
Yep.
coming up one.
yeah, so the
Ooh.
very first trailer, and he custom made it for me. And I've seen the replicas, like from the licensed people. And this is really sad. I'm going to say it's stupid, but Trick or Treat Studios, I've always been a big fan. Every mask I have is from Trick or Treat Studios, with the exception of this one, because I think they really dropped the ball on the design of it this year. Like when you look at it, I have photos. I'll send you
For the
guys.
public or in the movie?
For the public, like the mass produced stuff, like it's really not their best work. But this one
So
here, like
before
I
I
said,
ask you about Halloween Kills, I have to. You guys usually talk about beer. I don't like IPAs, so I bought this for the can. Look at that cool Clockwork Orange.
That is
Like-
cool.
That is cool. What's the
Clockwork
brand? of that
Mandarin,
beer?
is it?
It's a New England style. It's a Mountain Brewing Company, and so this is specifically New Hampshire, where I
Okay.
live. So, you can't get it where you are. But I don't even know if it's any good because I don't like any IPAs, so I can't. But the can.
But the
pretty
can's
cool.
awesome.
Why do you have to tease us with it if we
Yeah,
can't get it?
I like IPAs.
I'm sorry. That's all I got. But so what? How does everyone feel about Halloween Kills coming out?
It's exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
It's very exciting. Like I was saying, like there's a lot of the one thing that gets me about this, and I'm gonna blame it on the parents of this generation, because I made a post about it, and it was actually
Generation
quite
Z,
popular.
which would be
Like,
Gen X, which
a lot of
aren't you
people
Gen
are
X?
talking about. Yeah, I'm actually the tail end of the tail end. No, am I Generation Xer? I'm Kurt
I don't-
Cobain's generation. What's that?
Gen X.
I'm a baby boomer.
Yeah. But
I'm
people
old.
are like, no, and I say this, I blame it on the parents of today's youth, because in the trailer, if you see it, he clearly has the mask off. There's a point when he has the mask off. She's screaming, "Come get your
Near the
mask!"
house, yeah.
Yeah, and all these people are on. Oh, I can't wait to see Michael unmasked. I can't wait. Wait a minute. We've seen him unmasked in '78.
All right. So
He was unmasked in the last one. We didn't really see his
He
face, but in
started
the beginning,
movie.
he
We got
didn't have a
clear
mask on.
profile of it, right?
Right.
Right. And if you count the other ones, there, he takes his mask off more than he has it on. What are you guys talking about? But no, it's exciting. But I think it's John Carpenter says it's a quintessential slasher film. That's what he's said about it. So he's excited about it. I think it's going to be more of an action horror, big time. Like if you've seen the trailer, right? And like I said, Emma, a lot of people are criticizing the trailer for saying it's showing too much, right? Because people were angry when they saw him coming out of the burning building and fighting, killing firemen, right? But I'm saying that we know that's going to happen in the first 2 to 5 minutes of the film, right? He's got to get out of the house, right? So you're not giving anything away. But it's one of those things where marketing is interesting. Like I personally, because I love the franchise and I would see it regardless. Like if you text me and said there's a new Halloween premiering tonight and we knew nothing about it, I would be there, right? So I'm the type of person where I don't need the promotional material, because you just have to tell me when it's coming out, and I'm there. That's all I need to know about this thing. But with marketing and everything, you got to see it. But it's people criticized what was
About
it?
marketing. Yep.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I'm making fun of your accent.
Again. No wonder I didn't come back with a show.
I was gonna say, doesn't this happen every time?
Yes.
I'm a bitch. That's the problem. So I have a question for everybody, because it's a fun question and it's not hard. So is there a movie that's everybody here that kicks off Halloween season for you? Like spooky season, you throw in a particular movie or two that's specifically like, you don't like save it for Halloween necessarily, but it makes you feel more Halloweeny.
That's that's a hard question, because it's every day of the year.
Or a TV
for
show.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't stop watching horror.
No, I
I'll
don't
say one
either.
that
You can hear me?
I know there's one that I'll
You guys
play.
back? I lost you for a
before-
minute.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
can you
here.
hear us now?
We hear you.
We all frozen up?
No.
No, I think for Halloween itself, besides
Everyone's
all
frozen up.
the other great stuff, we're frozen on you.
Is it just me?
It's
I
just
think
you.
it must be you.
You, I'm sorry. And that's not me kidding. I don't, everything seems fine to me.
Is it just me?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
you.
This is a silly one, but I like Hocus Pocus.
I love Hocus Pocus.
For
It's
Halloween.
so fun.
Yeah.
Bette Midler is so beautifully campy in it. It's so fun.
I agree.
It's Halloween for me.
Halloween, it's a good one.
It's
Classic
always
choice.
been.
Well, that one I can watch anytime, though.
Right.
I mean, we lost Craig, huh? So
I think
froze.
I think he's rebooting.
Okay.
Well, rebooting, however they say it.
Rebooting.
Rebooting.
Yeah, it's that Atlantic time zone,
Yeah, I know you can watch Halloween, but there's just something about it because maybe because it's always played on TV every year when October 1st comes around, they do the 30 days of horror. I just think it always kicked it off for me. Specifically, I remember what was the third movie, The Witches, that really had nothing to do with Michael Myers.
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. Thank you. And that, for some reason, that one always, when I was growing up as a kid, always seemed to be played on TV. It was always that one. And I really didn't even know about Michael until later on. Because I think that was the first one that I was exposed to.
Kind of like the
Isn't it
Star
a
Wars
weird
trilogy.
feeling?
Right.
It's out of order.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it a weird feeling that because I feel it too, that nostalgia for cable? It's because when things just were on, and you're like, oh, I'll watch a movie. I'm like, I remember when this used to be on TV all the time. Of course, when it was on TV all the time, like, oh, this is always on, But my favorite, there's a Halloween thing that I like that maybe it's, I don't know if you guys would know the Nickelodeon show Pete and Pete. It's old. It was like when I was a kid. So like not old, but not current. Well, it's a Halloween episode of that. That's a lot about trick or treating and stuff. Am I paused now?
We something really weird happened
for a
there
second.
for a minute. It was weird. We got Craig back now.
Craig, did you ever watch? Craig, did you ever watch Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon?
Can you hear me now? Okay.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Craig's having issues.
Mm-hmm.
He's having lots of issues today.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to ask him about his movie.
He's completely frozen now.
Yeah, I want to find out about this movie.
Yeah, me too. Because I don't know if he's doing the making his own characters or doing like kind of I don't know if it's going to be more of a comedy horror or straight up horror. I had all these questions. All right,
there will be slashing.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I also I need to ask him about how excited he is for Rob Zombie's Monsters movie to come out.
Oh yeah,
that should be interesting.
Some people say they don't like the idea if it happens, but a lot of people are kind of waiting. Like, is it going to be like redneck Monsters? Kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies meets the Munsters, because he always kind of makes it a little bit white trashy rednecky in a way that's sometimes fun and sometimes like, yeah, thanks, Rob. But it should be fun. I mean, he does better with I think when there's a bit more comedy involved. Yeah. Than when he tries to do straight up horror all the time.
I don't know.
Did you guys watch the Munsters growing up?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, yep.
Love the Munsters.
Yeah, that was good. That was a great show. That was good.
So you're doing a lot of TikTok stuff now. That's really cool. I see.
Thank you. My last one sucked. My last one was like whenever I try to use my proper camera, as opposed to just like a digital device, it's always like a middle schooler getting up and giving a report to the class. It's like, this movie, the remake of Suspiria from 2018, is the way all remakes should be made. It is like, oh God, it's rough. But thank you. No, and I'm also going to be in a documentary about mental health and horror.
Oh, okay.
Oh, when will that be available?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even done my interview yet, but it's got a lot of really cool people involved. Andrew Hawkins invited me. He did. I did watch parties with him and Tawny Katane. I don't know if Craig saw it, but he knew I did it. And then for Santa Sangre with horror composer Simon Coswell, and it was really cool. That when we did Santa Sangre watch party, I wanted to make sure because they know their horror stuff, and I
Right.
want to make sure I did my homework. I don't want to, think I just want to be on par, or try and find a factoid that somebody might not know. But then the guy that did the documentary on the film was there, so I'm like, well, I'm not gonna. He's gonna know it, but it was fun. I've been watching a horror movie every day for the past year.
Yes.
I've been trying. It's a challenge I've had for myself.
Are you
Sorry,
back with us,
guys.
Craig?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, switched
Okay,
to
cool.
turned it down on my phone. Lost my connection in the basement.
So,
Oh,
Craig,
yeah.
tell us about your movie. I was just bragging about talking to
Yeah.
Tawny.
Well, I didn't answer my question that I dropped out before. What's a go-to horror movie? For me, it's not. I think you were saying at the end of it, I watch horror every day, all year round. So it's not a horror movie type of a. October doesn't really kick me into the horror gear. October more kicks me into the decorating gear and trying to get excited for some new horror movies that are coming out.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what that is. So you were bragging about hanging out with who? Who were you hanging out with?
Oh, the watch party I did with Tawny Katane.
Yes, yeah, I was very jealous of that. I was extremely jealous of that. I really got the biggest crush on her. Like I fell in love with her in Witchboard. It was like unbelievable. It was like one of my favorite 80s.
From
horror movies.
Witchboard too?
Yeah.
Was it on TV in Canada a lot?
Yeah, we do have television in Canada. We do.
I'm talking about like the cable days where like not everything's available all the time.
Let's be honest about this. Like I'm 48, so I grew up on 3 channels. We didn't have satellites and everything that stuff. You just had whatever was it. So no, it was VHS, like rented from the video store. Right.
Yeah.
That's how I did all my horror back in the day. Right. So, but yeah, no, I was like jealous when I saw that. I was like, oh, she's. I'd be like,
she was so nice too. She was super nice. She was really cool. But
that
I want to know
movie
about your movie.
Blind me,
Yes.
like flow of horror, like Witch Trap and like that genre, like Kevin S. Tinney, I think is how you probably his last name, the director of Witch Trap and None of the Demons and Witchboard. It's like I just fell in love
Well,
with
he
that
dropped
stuff.
out of film school to make Witchboard.
Those are the stories, right? It's like I question today in the independent world how many filmmakers who are actually taking a crack at it actually even go to film school anymore. To be
Right.
honest,
Not a lot.
Right.
I don't know.
The world's changed, right? Like with digital media, right? Like it's completely changed. Back in the day, when you had film, you had to know what you were doing because you couldn't make mistakes. It cost you way too much money to run that film through the camera, right? If you had your lights off or whatever, right? And of course, it was defining a preformed structure on how, like in films and stories still have structures, the 3-act structures and stuff, but we have so much more leeway now to be more experimental and be not as judged for the experimentation that you're doing, right? Because like the way it is now, you can make anything, which is evident of my Twitter feed, and you can just make something, and you have platforms where you can put it. Making money off the stuff, now that becomes a completely different conversation, but I don't think you should be making, when you're trying to make movies, if we're going to segue into the movie I'm trying to make, the goal isn't to be successful and famous. To me, it's actually taking the next step to do something I've always wanted to do and try and get it done, and that is to actually make. And people get mad at me when I say I want to try and make a legitimate film, right? And they're like, well, what's legitimacy? No, but when I say legitimate film, I mean it's nothing like the content that I create now for my social media. Like it's nothing fun. It's guy on Twitter from my DC, DC. I think you follow him, don't you?
John Diego?
No. I don't even know his real
I
name.
think so. I don't really.
You guys should see it. He does a hilarious parody of ghost hunting. Hilarious.
Oh, really?
Check
Yeah.
that out.
Right. But it's like when I sent him, I actually there's a handful of people that have read the script. We have a script. What are you talking about?
Don't let him talk about it till I get back.
Okay.
I'll just make stuff up.
So
But,
so have you guys seen Grave Encounters since you guys are ghost hunters?
I love
Mm,
Grave Encounters. The
I
first
haven't-
Grave Encounters was awesome.
Don't worry, be
It's
right back.
So it's not a real. It's a movie
Found footage.
that
It's found footage. Is
Right.
it's found footage, but it's pretty fluid. It's not like Blair Witch, but
No.
it is
Okay.
found footage where it's ghost hunters going into an asylum, and that's
And it's
pretty much all you
well
need to know.
made. It's well made.
Is it
Right.
on?
That's a
Is
cool
it on
ending.
Netflix?
I think so. No, it's on Shudder, but it was on Netflix at one point, but I don't know if it is now.
Because I think I recall seeing that title on Netflix.
I think there's two of them. I think they did a second
There's
one.
two.
which
I saw
is-
the second one, which was not as good, but it was all right.
Yeah, Grave Encounters is really, it's one of like if you found footage, I find to me it's just so overdone and it's hard to do it interesting that hasn't already been done.
Right.
But I think what these people did is they didn't try and reinvent the wheel, and they because they hid it under the guise of being a professional paranormal researchers, so they already came in with good equipment, which allowed them to film it. That it's not grainy, it's not much shaky
Right.
cameras. Like it's filmed very well, right? And but no, you should check it out. Like I'm trying to find out where it's on.
Yeah, I'll have to look that
One,
up. I know
if
I've
you look
seen the
on
title.
Letterboxd, it'll tell you where you can watch it.
Grave Encounters is on. It's on Prime.
Oh, okay. Maybe
So-
that's where I saw it then.
So another really good one is my favorite Adam Green movie, Digging Up the Marrow.
That was awesome.
I
That was
know, right?
awesome.
So many people
That
haven't
was-
seen it.
No, it was, and like this is the thing about it. It's he plays himself, a variation of himself, and Kane Hodder's in it. But what he is he gets weird fan mail from somebody, right? And
Laura Palmer's dad, Ray Wise.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and like he goes out and meets him, and then all this paranormal stuff goes on. It's like it's really well made. But Adam
Huh.
Green, he's he plays almost a caricature of himself, right? Like he's not like there's humor in it. There's
But like he's making fun of
he's
himself.
poking fun of himself.
Right.
Absolutely, right?
But it's another found footage where, like, because they're trying to make this proper film within the film, that the equipment's good, the shots are good, and it's a movie that the ending really makes it. And the thing is, no matter what the outcome came to be, whether it was all a hoax or not a hoax, all these other things, it's like it's still fucked up. Like there was no ending where it wasn't fucked up, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So back to your movie. So are you making a straight up serious horror, or is it like slightly horror
This is
comedy?
like I said, my friend DC on Twitter. I sent him a copy of it to read, and he did a little video testimony of it without saying anything about it. And the first thing he said was when I sent it to him, he was expecting like Tucker or Dale versus Evil, like Evil Dead 2, right? Because I use so much comedy in the content that I create, and it's not that at all. It's not all. It's I actually don't think I don't think there's one comedic aspect of this, which I might have to change, right? Because maybe it might be a little bit too heavy, right? But no, I'm going back to the 80s. I'm going pedal to the metal, brutality, gore, over the top gore, and that'll be interesting because I don't want the over the top gore to be comedic or whatever. I've never ever really. There's a handful of people. I have a co-writer that I work with, Ontario, but he's I made a comment one day on Twitter that I was gonna make. If someone said, what's standing in your way of making your dream happen, right? There's one of those standard little tweets to put people
Question, right?
right? And I said a producer, a writer, funding, everything. And the next thing you know, I got this message from this she's this woman on Twitter, Whiplash, one of my followers, and she said, you need to talk to my husband. He's a writer. So then we started talking, and I had the concept kicking around in my head for a long time now. I have a lot of fun with it if you watch some of my updates on Twitter and everything, but I'm going to be flat out honest. He's the primary writer of this. Basically, I had a concept that I had Him and I had meetings and talked about it, and then he took that concept and he fleshed it out into a 3-act structure, and he got the script written, and then I would come back with my feedback on the script of, no, well, this is kind of the scene I was kind of thinking of. So basically, perfect for me, because it's just me sitting back here going, this is what I want to make, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do. And then a week later, I have a draft of a script. Okay, this is
Right.
great. Okay.
Are they
No,
all
let's
are
do
the
this.
original characters?
All original characters.
Cool.
This is not a fan film. This is not a parody. A lot of people think that too. People think I'm making a Michael Myers fan film, which I am not at all.
Because you
Um,
get in so much trouble with rights and stuff like that.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the thing. Like, I know this, right? People talk to me. Like, I still get confused how people are pulling off these fan movies. Like, what's it? Never Hike Alone in the Woods. It's like the Jason fan film that
Yeah.
was made. Those are short that's being expanded into a feature now, right? Like, it's like, I don't know how they do this. Someone explained to me is that they get away with it because technically they're not making money. All the crowdfunding they get, as long as it's going into the movie and not into their pockets, they get away with it. And
Interesting.
I think that's going to stop. I think
Yeah.
studios are going to swoop up that pretty quick. But
No,
no,
I
it's a
hope not. Because I
Well,
mean, if you actually have the receipts for where the money went, you should be okay.
yeah, it's the and
'Cause
surprisingly,
even if you spend the money on marketing, so there's the movie and then there's marketing, and that's where so many filmmakers tank, because they have no money for marketing, and then their film just doesn't get seen. I mean, if
Yeah,
they're lucky, Amazon or Netflix will buy it, and they'll maybe show it for a month or two, but then no one sees their movie.
I'm,
the
you
problem
know,
with-
I'm kind of with Emma on that, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, right? And I've seen so many fan-made films come out on YouTube and stuff. I watched one with like Darth Vader against Darth Maul fighting, and I gotta tell you, some of the shit that comes out is incredible. I mean, it's Lucasfilm worthy. You know, some of the stuff that I've seen, it's really well done. So I would hate to see that go away.
You have a whole
too,
film
but-
studio on your camera now.
right?
so-
And to Craig's point earlier, it's so much easier to do it nowadays. But you can have all the technology in the world. You know, you look at the software that's out today. You can film shit on an iPhone and make a movie out of it just because of the software we have. But it does come down to, you still have to have a good story. You still have to something that you can make into a movie. So,
yeah, and
you know.
and it is like with like Emma brings the point, is I think a lot of these independent filmmakers who are making stuff, and they're making some good stuff that no one sees. Right, because they don't have the ability to put the money into getting. You can make a trailer and you can put it out there. You can put it on Facebook, put YouTube, you can put it on Twitter, you can get it out there. There's still no guarantee people are going to watch it. So you don't have the money to, get maybe if you can catch the eye of one of the big horror promoters out there with the magazines and stuff, but it's so hard. It's not like Halloween Kills. The amount of money they have, right? Like, to get it, you'll see like their trailers are they're still putting, like, we don't have the ability to get our trailer in front of a movie that's playing in a theater, even though I think cinema's dead. I don't think theaters are ever going to recover from what happened, right? So, but still, like, you don't have that ability, right? So, and you take put everything you have into it to roll your dice to try and get it. It's festivals for us. Indies is for festivals. Like, if you can get one of the big festivals, you might get it down, right? But
well, that's what Uncle Lloyd does.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. And I was trying to get his attention, and he won't talk to me. I'm like, man, this movie's right.
Well, maybe once you have a movie, because they just distribute movies all the time. Once you have a movie done, and somebody in Trauma sees it and likes it enough, they'll distribute it for you. Maybe. Yeah,
like, it is. Like, I look at like what it is, and of course, like I said, it's very brutal, very violent. And of course, when I'm thinking of the title of it, and it took me a while to come with the title, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with a Samuel L. Jackson Snake on the Plane type of philosophy, right? Call it for what it is, right? So, my name of my
people getting murdered. Is that what the name of the movie is?
It's called Massacre. My name of my script right now, and if we go, it's just called Massacre. That's the name of it, right? And Massacre is very popular. I did research. There's actually only 3 movies made in the history of cinema that are only called Massacre. They all have something. Chainsaw Massacre.
Is it searchable?
Yeah. I like the simplicity of that.
Yeah, it's simple, right?
Yeah.
It is, and like it's the way it is. And I've never talked publicly about the concept of it, but I'm
Can I
learning
ask
a
you a
lot too.
question about it real quick? Bill? I mean, is this a producer director thing for you? Or are you going to do some acting in it as well?
Yeah, it's funny how things change, because when I first came up with this and we started writing it, like I actually just want to get it made. Like that's my thing. It's like ideally I'd like to direct it. I'm never going to get funding from anyone if I direct it, because who's Craig Layton, right? You know,
The Craigster.
like
But who are you going to get
Craigness.
to direct it then?
grants in Canada, we have a lot of grants. Yeah, like me and my brother talk about this all the time, because the more we get into this, the more we get into it, the just being able to turn it over to somebody is becoming difficult at this point. But then he's like, what if someone wanted to option it, right? Because, well, options change everything, right? Because I'm not making this to make money. Ideally, it'd be nice to make money. I'm making it to make a movie, hopefully be able to get to another movie, to another movie, to another movie.
Right,
That's
right.
the plan, right? But it's, yeah, I probably will, at this point, I'm directing it. If we get optioned on someone, and like just if a studio swoops in and says, we want to do this, but you can't be a part of it, then that changes the whole conversation, and probably wouldn't say no to that, right? But acting could be a part of it too, right? But yeah,
You
this
could
is
get Blair Witch lucky.
You
yeah,
could.
I really do. I read this, and I think I'm on
They
something.
weren't lucky. They worked hard on that campaign, and how the actors. There's a whole science to how the Blair Witch became successful. It's
Well,
more
Blair,
than just. It's more than just being found footage. It's more than and the way they shot it, where the actors would get a script, they'd hide the script and the
Yeah.
film, and then the actors had to go find it, and then the actors would shoot everything to make it natural. But then there's the whole campaign around it and the rise of the internet. That's a touchy one
well,
to do a
well,
comparison
no, the
on.
Blair Witch. You'll never achieve the Blair Witch ever again.
No, but
Like
I'm just
that.
saying the idea that like an indie horror film usually it's more like Fried Barry that he did a lot of pushing it out there. It's a lot. That's almost. I mean,
Well,
most people. I have never made a movie, but most people say making the movie is like a piece of cake compared to getting your movie out there.
well, that's the thing. Nobody like it's to get an independent film screened. It's different. The world's changing though. But like it's Blair Witch. Like I said, when I say we'll never have another Blair Witch, it's because of the timing when it was made. As far as I'm concerned, they invented viral marketing. Right? They were one of the first ones to actually utilize the internet to market their film, and they market it in such a brilliant way because their whole marketing campaign was let's make everyone think it's real.
Right. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
people bought into it. I even found myself buying into it. It wasn't
Yeah.
up until I was talking to a buddy at my work, because we snuck out of work to go see it when it premiered at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like on a Thursday, right? And we were talking. We were obsessed with this and trying to find everything you possibly can. And you got to go back to like the date is slipping when it was released, but the internet then
1999.
99 compared to internet today, it's
True. Yeah.
it's like 1999 and going
It
to
was
Mars.
dial up.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah,
it was very hard to find out
Yeah.
that it was fake, because the cast, like you said, the cast were NDAs were signed, right? They couldn't do any press for this. They couldn't even tell people they were in it.
Well, they
Right,
came out
because-
with the fake news report too.
That the brilliant thing of that is when they created it for, I think it was for the Space Channel, or at the time, but that 1 hour documentary on it, which was basically a news story about these missing people. The only thing that I thought they should have did, I think they should have hired actors to have the parents throw a press conference talking about how if it can anyone help us bring my children home.
Right.
I'd like to do.
They
would have
might
said-
not have they might not have wanted to upset people too much, you know.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what for me it was when I sat down at the end and I said, look, they're not going. If this is real and these kids are dead or missing, they are not going to be allowed to show a film about this for profit.
Right. Right.
Right. And so there was like the suspension of disbelief for me was my point. But still, I loved it. I saw it. I think I saw it 3 times in the theater. Right. Whoever I could say, you didn't see it, let's go. And I would take them to them. Right. It's like, it's just, you'll never achieve that again at all because of technology. Right. It's right now, because right now you can make a movie And if the right person sees it and the right person likes it, it takes 250 characters typed out, and boom,
Right.
your project can blow up, right? Like
Or if it's gruesome enough, you can be on the fake snuff film disturbing movie Iceberg.
yeah, exactly, right. But no, it's we've been writing this movie for, I think we're coming into 4 months now, because this is the reality of when you think you get your script done, you don't.
You don't. Yeah.
You don't. You don't at all, right? Because you're writing your story, and then the problem with our script at first was it read too much. It was so descriptive. It was more like a novel.
Script is supposed to be short.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We were telling the story for us. We had it all laid out. Everything was going on, and when you read it, you could tell exactly what was going on. And then it's trimming it, and then once you start trimming it, you're realizing, well, this scene doesn't work for the scene that we wrote on page 73. So then you got to work, right? But I'm also going with the philosophy of keeping, like, it's like I said, it's Massacre. The premise of it is, and I've never talked about this, so it's going to be the very first announcement of what I say.
You're here first, folks.
It is. Yep. This is a very release. I got to find where we typed it because the concept of my story is a woman turns to a brutal serial killer to exact revenge on the sadistic cult that kidnapped her years earlier. So what I'm doing is I'm basically saying, like, Taken, like if he was like a Jason or a Michael.
Come on.
Right.
Taken means Ticket to Heaven.
Yeah, Taken means like Halloween type of thing. So it's basically a brutal serial killer. Woman gets her help to go attack. So it's basically Hills Have Eyes meets Taken meets Halloween type of thing, right? So because, of course, when my character is obviously a Michael Myers fan, so when we're writing the serial killer in this, like, he's obviously kind of Michael Myers, and he's morphed more into like a Jason-ish character, right? But we're trying to do it all.
Aren't they like mass killers more than serial killers? Like they're mass
Well, this is the
murderers?
problem. I have a very good friend of mine who's a very successful filmmaker out of Halifax, and I've been talking a lot with him, and I'm hoping, actually, because we're
the romantic guy.
No, he passed on that.
No,
that's a true story. I made a video about that, right? He was the first guy, because I have this filmmaker. He gets funding, right? And we broke into the industry because I have a film background. I started in film, right? Like, I've made short films on 35 millimeter. I've been in festivals. I've acted in a lot of them. And there's a filmmaker that we started together. Like, I was right involved in this first little thing. And then I had another web show in Halifax that I used to do, and he produced that, and we kind of progressed through the industry together. And then I kind of veered off because he was coming up to retirement age. I was coming up to support my family age type of thing, and we veered off, right? So then I called him up, and I'm like, time to call in a favor, man. Come on, help me out with this, right? And he read the script, and he said, I can't make this. And I said, what's wrong with it? He goes, I made a video, but and I'm not joking. When I tell my story, my little update video I put on my Twitter, I'm not joking at all. But it's like, he says, I can't make this. It is way too violent. I can't get funding for this. I make romantic comedies. Like, I have a reputation. I cannot get funding for this. It's so polar opposite to what I make. And, like, I get it. All right. It's not your thing. You have your audience built in, and you have your contacts and funding to get grants to do this stuff. And he does a lot of he's the biggest awesome thing about him. His name's Hank White, by the way. Hey, shake out to Hank White and Stone Cold Productions. Looked him up. He makes a lot of Aboriginal films too, right? Telling their stories and everything. And this has nothing to do with that. But I'm like, dude, I don't care. I want to put all Aboriginal cast in this film. Let's do it. I don't care, right? So he really passed. But I get another guy. This is not his cup of tea either, but he's very supportive of me, and he told me, we kicked around because I wanted to say slasher. The woman reaches out to a brutal slasher to exact revenge. All right. He says I shouldn't use the word slasher because it's not as recognizable as serial killer to a mass audience, right? So it's like, to me, it's like, it's a slasher. People who watch horror movie, my target audience, they know what a slasher is,
Right?
Like, he's not
locked up, and she gets that's how she gets a hold of him, and he gets out, or is she somehow?
There's more to it.
Well,
There's more to
yeah,
it.
you would attract more true crime, you know.
Yeah, there's
folk
more
to
to
that,
this,
so,
right? Like it's
yeah.
so.
Tell everyone it's based on Ed Gein. It doesn't need to be. Just
Yeah,
tell them that.
all I gotta say is based on a true story. You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because true
In
story
a
is so.
galaxy far, far away.
Inspired by. So then people aren't like, this isn't based on anything that
And
happened. I was
I
inspired by.
and I gotta I can't name this guy. I really wish I could because this would change everything for me. But I
Bay,
have
isn't it?
what? Like
It's Michael Bay, isn't it?
yeah, Michael Bay's all over this. No, I actually have. I have. I'm not going to say which one. There's enough of them. I actually have one of the writers of one of the Friday the 13th films is actually reviewing the script and giving me notes and helping me improve it.
Oh, that's cool.
Congratulations. That's
Well,
so cool.
Yeah.
That's
That's the
awesome.
big thing, right? So when he's digging it so far, but it's like he's fantastic that he's nice enough to do that, right? So there are still people that are good. It is you kind of make this stuff to hopefully, like I said, I'm not trying to be a millionaire for this. I just want to make it. And it's when you think about it, it's like the budget. I had my Hank White who passed on it. He said, "Craig, you need $3 million to make this film." I went $3 million. Talking about.
That's really cheap though. Unfortunately,
No,
True,
it is
that's
cheap,
true.
but I'm a nobody though, right? Like I'm not gonna get $3 million studio. I can't crowd fund $3 million, right? Because it's so special effects heavy. It's so many stunts in this thing, right? So it's like, but then again, I'm like, I'll just do the stunt myself. I don't care. I get hurt. Thing, right?
So we had a comment earlier from Aragon Stories that said you might want to try promoting it for financial support on IMDb. There are a lot of Hollywood folk out there out of work right now, considering the politics in Tinseltown.
That's a good thing. I do have an IMDb page myself. It's not a pro. I should probably upgrade to a pro and put it up there because I do have the films that I've been in are up there. So I'm doing. I've been reading a lot of cheat sheets and stuff, and actually IMDb. What people say is buy the pro because you get 30 days free, and go through the films that are similar to what you're trying to make.
Right.
And when you have the pro account, it opens up everything. You can see who wrote the script, who their agent was, who their script agent was. And they said that way you can track it down to, okay, this person here actively represents screenwriters with this type of genre. And then you can get contact information for them so you can start sending them out, right? But it's hard when you're like cold script submissions are frowned upon a lot because of the legal aspects of it, right? Because I could send a script to somebody and they never open it, never read it, and then all of a sudden their studio, their associate happens to make a movie that is similar to something that I made, right? Then I sent it to you guys. Then I have legal rights
Right.
to challenge and
Like in
potentially
that movie Vicious Fun. That's a good one if you guys haven't seen Vicious Fun.
I watched this writer. I don't even know who he was. Lloyd Kaufman posted it up about it was a tip on how to secure funding and stuff from this guy, right? And this guy would say be flexible. Flexible funding is what it was called. Like he wrote a story that he couldn't get it made, but yet all of a sudden someone in France wanted to make it. But his story had nothing to do with France or French. And they said, you got to rewrite the script and make it French so we can get our grants.
Right.
Just
So
a
he
bunch
said,
of berets and baguettes.
and then he changed everything, but he was willing to change everything. He didn't care about the heart of his story. He just wanted to get it made, type of thing. But this is what he said when he talked about these cold submissions, right? He says, if you ever send something to a producer of your story, and then you see something from that studio coming out that is very similar to your story, the first mistake people make is they hire lawyers and challenge it right away. And he said, that's wrong. He said, don't do that because they don't have anything invested into it at that time. So it costs them nothing to cancel it. Wait until it's filmed. Wait until they announce the release. Then all of a sudden they have maybe 20, 30, $40 million invested in this thing.
Right.
They can't afford the lawsuit because they can't stop it. So sue them then, and they'll give you a couple bucks to go away, right? But that's not what it's about, right? But
right.
But no, I'm
Speaking
also
of Uncle Lloyd, what do you think of the upcoming Toxic Avenger remake?
I think that's fantastic news. I really do. And it's funny that it took this long, really, because we are in remake. It's the era of the remake
Yes, it
Yeah.
right
is.
now.
Yes, it is.
It is, right? And it's funny. I watched an interview with John Carpenter the other day on YouTube. It was an old one, but I stumbled across it because everybody knows how much I love Rob Zombie and his films, right? And the question, he was at a Q&A and someone asked,
I don't get how you and him are like the same. Only he has money. Unfortunately, it's
you
just
know,
like
the funny
you
thing
guys.
is that when I'm reading our script, right, and the brutality of it and the things that we were doing, and even me, I'm like, oh, that's
Are
Rob
you
Zombie.
making the characters rednecks too? Because that's a very zombie thing to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of zombies, and like I'm like, oh my god, that's the home life in one of the scenes. I'm like, oh my god, man, that's. And of course,
No.
the writer did this, right? But I described the
Maybe that's why
character.
you're so tough on him. You see yourself in Rob Zombie. I'm not kidding.
I mean, no, you know what? I'm hard on zombie just because of Halloween. That's it, man. Like
Yeah.
I
I
love
get. I
Ghost
just
of a
like
Thousand
teasing you about
Corpse.
it.
My joke is because I complained about this movie so much, and I said this publicly on Twitter. I said, I hope I get to the point where Rob Zombie starts criticizing my movie. Then I know I made it. It would be awesome, right? But no, I'm watching like the home life and one of my characters. Like, oh my god, that's the father is just like dude in his Halloween remake, right? The guy in the
Stepdad.
yeah, the stepdad. I'm like, oh no. And then I'm reading like the cult, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so freaking House of a Thousand Corpse-ish type of family. It's like, oh
It's a lot of Lords of Salem. It sounds very Lords of
yeah,
Salem-y.
it is. You know, it's violence it's violence. It's like say we want to say Rob Zombie, love him, hate him, man. The dude knows how to make violent films.
He does. He does.
Mhm.
That's
Hey.
true. Although there are things about his Halloween that I don't like. I generally like it as
A
a
lot of
movie, but it seems like they try to make like the first bully that his Michael Myers' first kill are is the guy the kid that bullied him, and then he first in the director's cut he kills the two the guys that are raping the woman, the mental patient. And it's like Michael Myers doesn't have morals on who he kills. It's like if you're in his way, he's gonna kill you.
He's gonna
If
kill you,
you're,
right?
you
Well,
know, it's not like he's killing. He doesn't think, oh, you're a bad person, so I'm gonna kill you. That's
I
not
don't-
Michael Myers.
this is what John Carpenter said about Rob Zombie. Apparently, there's a lot of things like I've read everything that he's always been against Rob Zombie making Halloween. He said John
Oh
Carpenter
no,
said
he said that he gave Rob Zombie his blessing, and that
that's the
Rob
thing.
made that up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what John Carpenter said. He says Rob Zombie like is promoting that I did not have my blessing, and he said I did. He said he came to me, and I said, dude, make it your own.
Right.
Yeah,
It's yours.
exactly. Yeah.
Make it your own. And he said in the interview, because I have no idea what that asshole is saying differently now, right? But John Carpenter said the same thing. It's like make it your own. But the problem is that Michael Myers should not have a backstory. He's a force of nature, is what
Right.
he
I
is,
liked
right?
the backstory. That was okay. I thought that was interesting enough. But I mean, they did write some of those scenes on the day. If you watch the documentary,
Yeah.
it's like they wrote some of the scenes for that movie on the day they shot it. So unlike you,
Yeah, I don't-
you're taking time with your script.
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you guys off, but we're actually out of time.
We didn't get
but-
to talk about the Lost Boys remake either.
Didn't talk about anything.
Well, we're gonna have to. We'll have you guys. I think we're gonna have you guys on the Truth About Beer again.
Yeah.
We'll have you on one of our shows
Yes,
again.
get the gang back together.
Halloween. We
But
got to
I-
get to have the horror show back on. They're so
Yeah.
lovely.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we
We
need
should
to
That was
get
the
do like
greatest show ever.
But before we go, I
we
want to
got-
ask you guys: collaboration this year? We doing another one?
Gotta do it.
Absolutely, we need to do another. What are we talking?
Okay.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's get together.
Always
Let's do
down
it.
with collaborations.
Let's have you guys back on Truth About Beer. Go ahead, Emma.
Hopefully when we're back on for Truth About Beer, we should do so we have a bit of direction. We could do our top 10 horror movies from the last 2 years or something like that. So we can
Yeah.
have something like a little bit.
Let's do it.
No, but definitely, I definitely think I want to come back on the show again. We need to get the crew back together, and we need to start thinking about collaborations for.
I've got a
our
lot of
Christmas
special
movies.
effects makeups.
I know you do.
You know, and you know what, Emma? I will be calling on you when I go to camera on this thing. When I start
Oh,
Oh, really
pre-production.
cool.
I want.
Can I if I can have a part, if I could choose a part, which I'll do whatever. Can I be like a really redneck person or one of the cult people that's like, whoa, man, like everything's cool, you know what I
You know,
mean?
funny
I
thing-
want to be demented.
Nice.
if I can be. If
No,
not,
I said
that's fine.
I want to say this just before we come out, but
Yeah, go for it.
I've said this publicly, and I want to make my movie with the horror community, like my Twitter horror family and stuff. I want to bring as many people together as possible because there's so much. Like Emma is amazing, like
Thank
what
you.
you do,
She's incredible.
unbelievable, right? Like there's so many untapped resources there, and we're all like, everybody needs a break to catch something. So we all actually can come together. I always talk, we come together and make something together that moves us all forwards, and that's the way it should be.
That's a good ending statement.
I
that.
like it.
All right, guys, we got to let you go.
Yeah.
We got to roll into our next segment. Thank you so much for jumping on with us, guys.
Yeah,
We
really
No,
appreciate
thanks
it.
so
Yeah.
much for inviting us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
You guys
yeah.
have fun with your
Love it.
Parapalooza. And
All
good
right,
luck with
well-
your script, Craig. Thanks for
Yeah,
telling us
good
about
luck,
it.
Craig.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch soon to get you guys back on the show so we can push forward.
Yes.
Get that cute couple back too. I love them. They're so fun.
We will.
Oh, they will.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. Love those guys.
Oh,
They're
so-
awesome.
Yeah,
All
you never have enough time.
No, I know. I looked up at the time and I went, oh, shit. We're almost done. So coming up next is going to be Vinny with AZ Piers. So stick around, guys. We hope you enjoyed that segment. If you did, please shoot us some comments. Please go subscribe, and we'll be right back. See you in a few.